everyone, long time no see. So as you can see, the star of the show today is the NYX Ultimate Eyeshadow Palette, the warm neutrals version. I absolutely love these colors. Oh my goodness, could you die? So as you can see, I already have my left eye done, so I am going to jump right into my right eye. So we're going to start off with this taupey shade just to make sure everything blends out nice and smoothly, and this is going to serve as our transition shade. And once our transition shade is nice and blended, we are going to hop in back to the palette just to deepen things up. So we're going to take this bottom orangey, I guess burnt orange shade, and really just deepen up the crease just a little bit. And I'm actually taking that shade also into the outer corner of my eye because I really want that rosy outer corner to be nice and diffused. And to intensify things just a little bit more, we are going to take the shade that is on the second row up from the bottom. And the best way to describe this shade is somewhere between a burnt orange and a burgundy. So as you can see, that's really just deepening things up just to intensify that outer corner even more. So now I'm going in with the burgundy shade to really deepen up the outer corner. I'm not really taking it so much in my crease as I am the outer corner because I want to deepen that up before we start on the lid. And now to really give the eye a pink champagne type of feel, I'm first going to take some Fix Plus spray, spray it on an eyeshadow brush, and then go in with that rosy champagne-y shade right on the lid just to really make things pop. And as you can see, now I'm just blending everything out. I'm not taking any color on the blending brush, but I want to make sure that everything is nice and smooth. And to give my outer corner life, I'm going in with the darkest shade in the palette, and I am just focusing this on the outer corner. I'm not really taking it up into the crease because I want to give it a nice smoky effect. Before I do my liner and lashes, I'm going to go in with the second lightest gold shade and just really make that brow bone pop. My liner and lashes are done off camera, but I'll show you what I do underneath my eye. First, I'm going in with that taupe shade just to create, again, a transition shade underneath my lower lash line. Then I'm going in with the burnt orangey shade just to deepen that up a bit. And we're going to keep building just like we did on the eyelid. So then next, I'm going in with that shade that is just a mix between the burnt orange and burgundy, just to make sure that we add some definition under the lashes. And the last shade that I'm using is the darkest shade in the palette, and I'm not taking that all the way across my lower lash line, really just focusing it on the outer third. So now that we have the completed look, stay tuned for my opinion on this palette. Okay, so now that the final eyeshadow look is complete, I just want to tell you guys a little bit about how I feel about the NYX Ultimate Eyeshadow Palette, the warm neutral version. First, let's start off with price. It does retail for $17.99 at Ulta, but honestly, for a 16 palette eyeshadow, I think that the price is definitely reasonable. I think one thing that NYX does really well is put out a good product at a decent price. I will say that for the price, you cannot beat it. And I think that this is the absolute perfect warm palette. If you are looking for warm colors specifically, I think that this palette is definitely the way to go, especially if you're not looking to spend a ton of money. I do think that some of the shades are comparable to some of the shades in the Modern Renaissance palette, and excuse the ratchetness and dirtiness of this palette. Because I pack my things away when I have clients, stuff gets everywhere, stuff opens up, so whatever. But I think that this palette definitely has a lot of warm colors, but this retails for about $42. Don't quote me on that. But warm colors, $17.99. Now in terms of pigmentation, I think it's just okay. A lot of the colors I will have to dip my brush in a few times in order to build up to the intensity that I want. But I think A, if you're just starting out with makeup, or B, if you don't like specifically bold, dramatic looks, then this palette is definitely the way to go. And just so you can see what I mean, I will swatch just a few so you can see what the color payoff is like. So we'll just dig into a few. We'll dig in here, we'll dig in here, we'll dig in here, and we'll dig in here. So on my fingertips, great, it looks good, but let's see what they look like once I swatch them onto my skin. So I didn't press super hard. You can see that this color trailed off a little bit. The shimmery shades honestly are not bad at all. I do feel the need to spray my brush with a little bit of Fix Plus, and again, in order to get the intensity that I like, but the matte shades I think need to be built up just a little bit. And you can see that that orange shade that I used on my outer V and my crease, not very pigmented at all. It's a beautiful color, but there's just not a whole lot of pigmentation offered up there. So again, do I think that this is a bad palette? Absolutely not. I would recommend this 100 times. But if you're looking for the intensity to be somewhere around what the Modern Renaissance palette is, I don't think that you're gonna get that. So NYX, I would say, definitely put out a good product when they put this out. I just wish that the pigmentation was a little bit heavier. I would say that the pigmentation is similar to a Morphe palette. Now granted, I only have the Morphe 35P, but as far as pigmentation, I think it is similar in terms of having to build it up, but offering really good shades. So in terms of putting out a warm neutral palette, this is exactly what it did. These are definitely awesome, warm, neutral colors. So will I say buy it? Absolutely. I don't mind dipping my brush in just a few times to build that color up. And another thing that I will say is that I did my entire face before I did my right eye. And typically with a lot of other palettes, there will be a lot of fallout, but with this palette, there was absolutely no fallout. And one thing that I will say about the Modern Renaissance palette, and I just keep going back to that just because the shades are very similar, there's a lot of kick up. So by kick up, I mean once you dip your brush into the product, it spreads it out a lot and it creates like a dust almost in that specific eyeshadow pan. With this, absolutely no kick up, absolutely no fallout. So I think that NYX did a great job with this one. So again, this palette is the NYX Ultimate Eyeshadow Palette, the Warm Neutrals version. It retails for $17.99 at Ulta. I'm not 100% sure what it retails for on the NYX website, but if you were thinking about buying this product, I think it is the perfect transition palette between winter and spring, and it'll definitely get a lot of use in the fall time. So if you were thinking about buying this, or if you've never heard of this or seen it, I do recommend this palette 100%. All right, guys, so thank you so much for watching me create this eyeshadow look, as well as watching my review and the swatches of this product. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you guys are a fan of this palette as well. Don't forget to comment some of your favorite NYX eyeshadow palettes down at the bottom. And as always, make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss anything else.